Hello everyone and welcome to the presentation on viruses. So, viruses are really fascinating things. When they are in the surroundings of non-living things, they behave as non-living. But whenever they come in contact with a living thing, they start to reproduce and they start to show life. So how can we classify viruses? Is they living or is they non-living? Well, they are nothing. They are in between them. They are the connecting link between non-living and the living. So let us understand how they do all these things, how they can behave like non-living things when they are not in contact with any living object, and whenever they come in contact with any living object or organism, they start to show life. How is that possible? To understand it, let us start with the definition of viruses. So let me write down the definition of viruses here. Alright, so viruses are ultra microscopic. Viruses are ultra microscopic, non-cellular. Really. So let me first make this box a little bit bigger. Okay, and ultra microscopic like that. They are non-cellular. Non-cellular. I will explain these terms in a short while. They are infectious. I know that you know what infectious means, but still, sorry. Infectious. Okay. They are non-cytoplasmic. They are filterable, obligate parasites. So let me write these terms also here. Non-cytoplasmic, they are filterable and they are obligate parasites. Okay, so that was the characteristics of a virus, or you can put all those characteristics together and you can make the definition of the virus on your own. So let us understand each term one by one. So I started by saying viruses are ultra microscopic. So what do I mean by this ultra microscopic word? So you might have guessed something, that ultra microscopic, well, microscopic means they refer to the small or the non-visible to the naked eye. They are not visible to the naked eye. Such organisms are ultra microscopic, maybe they are ultra small, and let me say that you are right, they are very small. So let me give you insight how much small they are. So let me show you an insight. If this is a virus, if this much big a virus is, then a bacteria which is very small, as you know till now, is this much big. Okay, so that is the comparison. And then a eukaryotic cell will be, let me see, more than this, huge, this very big. Okay, so this will be the comparison. Okay, I hope I can see that you can see some part of this, but you can think how much big it becomes. So virus is very small, and in fact they are not filterable. They are filterable, means if you put a bacterial filter, they will pass through it. So you can imagine why, because the bacteria is so big, and respect to that viruses are very small. So that's why we are calling it ultra microscopic. Now let us move to the next term, that is the non-cellular. So what do I mean by this term, non-cellular? Non-cellular means actually that they are not cell. We cannot say that a virus cell, we can say a bacterial cell, but virus, no, they are not cell. Why they are not cell? Because they do not have any type of organelles. That is the main point. A cell should have some type of organelles, right? A body should have some type of organs, then we will call a body. Okay, or an organ system should contain a body system. More than one organ system come together, they must they form a body. So a body must contain organs, but here what happens, it is such a type of organisms that do not contain any type of organelle, so we do not call it a cell at all. So neither the membrane bound organelles and nor the non-membrane bound organelles, nothing is there. So what is there in a virus? Only, let me show you a different color. Yes, this one. Okay, if it is a virus, then there will be the genetic material. There can be DNA or RNA. Let's say this is the genetic material, and then just as it is, there will be a coating outside like that, a proteinaceous coating. Okay, and sometimes there is another coating outside called the lipid envelope. There is another coating outside, and this is all. This is what virus contains. Nothing, really nothing. So can you guess till now, till this point, that why viruses are non-living when they are in non-living surroundings, and when they come in contact with living organisms, why they could living? Because when they are in non-living surroundings, they cannot show the metabolism. Why they cannot show the metabolism? Because they cannot make their own proteins. They have only the nucleic material. Okay, so if they do not have ribosomes, they cannot synthesize their proteins. If they cannot synthesize their proteins, they cannot function at all. So that is how they are being. When they come in contact with the living organisms, what happens is they insert their genetic material, that is the DNA or RNA, inside the living organisms, and then what happens is that they show their reproduction. There can be two types of reproduction, that is lightly called lysogenic. We will talk about them in some later video, but let me tell you that when they come in contact with the living organism, this genetic material goes inside that cell, and then it matches or mixes up with the cell's genetic material, and then using the proteins present in the cell, using the ribosomes of the cell, they can generate their own proteins. They can generate the proteins of this layer, which is the capsid. They can generate the proteins of the envelope, and they join together the proteins, and then they form two or more viruses, and then they burst out of the cell, and then they reproduce like this. So if they are showing reproduction, we can call them a living. So when they come in contact with living organisms, they become living. So that is the thing. So I just told you how they are infectious also, because they are infecting, and they are obligate parasites. Why? Obligate means they are compulsory parasites, because they cannot function without any other cell. So they have to infect other cells. They have to be parasitic on the other cell to be functionable. So that is why they are obligate parasites. They are filterable. Why? Because they are so small, and they are non-cytoplasmic, because they do not contain any cytoplasm. So that was the understanding of the definition of viruses. So let me give you an historical account. Who discovered the first virus? Well, it is Ivanovsky. And what is the first virus to be discovered? It is the tobacco mosaic virus, that is the TMV. Stanley crystallized the TMV virus, and Beijering called the virus as Contagium vivum fluidum. So that means it is living infectious fluid. Okay, so that was some points you can remember, and let us dive on to how we can name a virus. So we know now till this point that a virus will contain an envelope on the outside. It will contain a capsid layer inside that envelope, and then there will be nothing but a genetic material, free genetic material. So they are not living, so we cannot name them by the nomenclature rules we know till now. So to name them, we use a standard way, which is called a cryptogram, and Gibbs and Harrison developed this way of naming viruses. So what do we mean by cryptograms? Let me see. Let me tell you the cryptograms of some common viruses. For example, the first discovered virus, that is the tobacco mosaic virus. Let me tell you the cryptogram of the tobacco mosaic virus. Tobacco mosaic virus we call it by the scientific name like this. Where is my colon? Yes, we call it, let me change the color little bit, r/1. Okay, I will make you understand those terms. Then we call 2/5, then e/e, and then s/a. This is the comma. I am not putting the comma anywhere. s/a. So what are the meaning of these terms? This way of naming a virus is called the cryptogram. Okay, as I have told. And let me first give you some other cryptograms also, if you are interested in it. That is, what is the cryptogram of the influenza virus? Okay, influenza virus causing common cold, very common. Okay, common cold is very common among the people. That's why you call it common cold, right? So influenza virus, influenza virus. So what is the cryptogram for influenza virus? Let me give you, I will explain all the cryptograms. What is the cryptograms actually? I will explain them. First, see the cryptogram and get baffled, confused at these cryptograms. That is, cryptogram of influenza virus is r/1 2 to 3/10 s/e and b/o. So I give these two. I don't want to be very making you trouble. So let me explain this first. Alright. So cryptogram is basically composed of 4 parts, as you can see over here. 4 pairs we call it. Okay. So where is my pencil tool over there? This is composed of 4 pairs. See, first pair, second pair, third pair, and fourth pair. Sorry, it came under it. And fourth pair. There are 4 pairs in every cryptogram there is, and all those 4 pairs convey different meanings individually. So what does this pair 1 denote? Let me write down here. Where is my text box? Pair 1. Let me write down pair 1, which is this one, r/1, which are seeing common to both of them. That is the pair 1. What does this pair 1 convey? Pair 1. This actually conveys the type of nucleic acid in virus and the strands of nucleic acid. So R refers to RNA. If I put D over there, that will refer to DNA. And what is the meaning of /1? That 1 here refers to the single stranded RNA. Now you may say that RNA is always single stranded and DNA is always double stranded, but you are not correct. It is commonly RNA is single stranded and commonly DNA is double stranded, I agree, but there are some examples where there is single stranded DNA or double stranded RNA. So that can be also possible. So it doesn't imply that RNA is there, that means it will be single stranded. That doesn't imply. I want to convey that fact only. So pair 1 conveys the information of the type of nucleic acid. Don't get distracted by the sounds in the background. Sorry for that. Type of nucleic acid, and or put a slash, and then the next part comes the strandedness or strands of nucleic acid. Strands of nucleic acid. Okay, let me make the box bigger. You will not be able to see words. Right? Good. Then what is the next pair about? This is a part to understand. So let me first write it down. Pair 2, that is this pair over there. Okay, pair 2. What does this convey? This conveys the molecular weight of the nucleic acid in millions and the percentage of nucleic acid in virus. So let me write it down. I will explain it a little bit later. So molecular weight, molecular weight of the nucleic acid and, or let me put the slash, the percentage of nucleic acid. Now let me make you understand what is the meaning of this. Well, the nucleic acid, as you may know, that it is composed of adenine, guanine, thymine, and yes, it is ATCG, adenine, guanine, thymine, and cytosine. And in case of RNA, it is uracil. So they are all chemical compounds. So they will be composed of, let's say, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, all those things. So they will have their weights, molecular weights. When we add up all the weights, there is not only a one adenine. If we add up one adenine, we will get 100, nearby 100. And there are so many adenines are there, so many guanines. When we add them all up, we will get somewhat millions of weight. The weight will be in millions. So that weight is represented by the first part of the second pair. So this 2 refers that the nucleic acid present in the tobacco mosaic virus is weighing 2 millions in molecular weight, and it is not correctly 2 millions, it is approximately 2 millions, as you may know. And then what is the percentage of nucleic acid? Well, viruses do not contain nucleic acid alone. Do they contain only DNA? No, they contain a capsid layer, as I told before, and a lipid layer also. So when we weigh the total virus and find out what percentage of its weight is that occupied by the nucleic acid, that is called the percentage of nucleic acid. So for example, the weight of the virus is, let's say, 10 million, and the weight of the nucleic acid is, let's say, 2 million. So 2 by total the weight of the virus, 10 into 100, that will give the percent. By doing this, we find that there is 5% of nucleic acid or genetic material in the virus, tobacco mosaic virus. So till now it's clear, pair 1 and pair 2. Third pair, what does this represent? Third pair 3. This is actually the shape of the virus. Alright, this pair just explains the shape of the virus. We can find out the shape of the virus by seeing the code in this pair. So shape of the virus can be spherical or elongated, or it can be some complex shape that we are not aware of. There can be different shapes of virus, but we are grouping them into spherical, elongated, which are most of the viruses are either spherical or elongated, and the rest of the virus, there can be so many different types of shape. We group them all into complex. So this pair represents the shape of the virus. Shape of the virus. And then what is the other part of this pair? That is the shape of the capsid, which is the coating of the virus. There can be different shape for the shape of the virus and that of the shape of the capsid. That can be possible, and most of the times it is your common sense might say that it is the same, but it can be different. So you can see this time in the tobacco mosaic virus, both the shapes are same, but in the influenza virus they are different. So I will tell you what is the meaning of the course. First let me write down / the shape of the capsid. So that was the third pair. E here refers to elongated shape. So what do I mean by elongated shape? Let me show you a picture over there, the tobacco mosaic virus. I have a picture of tobacco mosaic virus outside of your screen, so let me bring it out here. You can see how it is a rod shaped. This will continue not till here, only a portion of it is shown in the picture. It will continue, it will be long and elongated shape. So we call this type of shape elongated, and inside there will be the nucleic material, which is the coiled RNA in place of the tobacco mosaic virus. Here you can see RNA. There can be S-shaped also. See, S here refers to spherical shape. So how does a spherical shape look like? Well, I know you know the spherical shape, what does it mean, but how does the influenza virus look like? I have a picture of the influenza virus over here. Let me bring it in front of you. This is the influenza virus. You can see it is spherical in shape, so that is the fact. It is spherical in shape. This is the spherical shape, and all other shapes, like there can be many other shapes. So you can see the bacteriophages. There can be many other shapes of bacteriophages. They will be all come. They will all come under the complex shape. So that was it. Let me put them back into position. Pair 3 complete, shape of the virus and shape of the capsid. And the last pair. There, I lost my text box. Let me put another one. Alright, pair 4, last one. What does it convey? It conveys the kind of host slash the kind of vector. I will explain it. Kind of host slash kind of vector. Alright, so what do this mean? So kind of host means all viruses are host specific. Some virus will attack a bacteria, some virus can attack, let's say, vertebrates, some virus can attack invertebrates, some virus can attack fungus. So they are specific, host specific. So this represents the kind of host the virus is attacking. For example, here influenza virus, V means vertebrates, so it attacks the vertebrates only. For example, human, we get the influenza virus, the common cold, we are vertebrates, right? So that's why we call the kind of host. And the kind of vector here means that is the virus attacking with the help of any other organism. So let me give you a very common example, the rabies virus. As you may know that it is caused by the dog bite or the monkey bites. So the vector is due to the dog or the monkey which is causing that virus to enter our body. So we will call the vector to be the dog or the monkey. Now the vector can be vertebrate, invertebrate, anything. So the dog in case is vertebrate. So for example, we will put the slash, and in case of rabies virus we will put the vertebrate sign. So that was it, pair 4, and that is how we scientifically using cryptogram name viruses. Thank you, and as always, thanks for watching. Bye.